What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone who's looking to level up from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good freaking person is who we are. And living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. Today, we're going to be diving into a crucial aspect of personal growth. And that essential aspect is letting go of the past so that we can create the future that we desire. It's such an important thing to really grasp upon because we all make mistakes. We all have regrets. We all have things that we wish we could have done better, and if we let them, those failures can weigh us down, and they can hinder our ability to move forward and achieve our goals. But mistakes are only mistakes if we look at them that way, man. A failure is only a failure if you look at it that way. If we choose to look at those failures, at those mistakes, if we choose to look at that shit as lessons, like, man, how different would things be, right? What if you chose to look at them as lessons? Like, how would your perspective shift on those situations? Like, what if all those mistakes, quote unquote mistakes and quote unquote failures, which we're now scratching that word and replacing for lessons, what if all that were just stepping stones to becoming the person that you are today? Like, because without those lessons, you wouldn't know how to navigate, the waters that you're in right now. And yes, they are lessons, but if we continue to keep them around, they will only hold us down, and they will stop, they will hinder, they will slow down our growth. They will keep us from moving forward like an anchor does to a ship. Like, if a ship has its anchor down, it's gonna hold the ship from moving forward. If it's anchored securely into the ground, it's gonna lock that ship down and it's not gonna let them move forward. But if you just drop that anchor down and it's just there and it's not really hooked up to anything, which this has happened. If you're a boater, this has happened to me. It unhooks and now the boat is being held down, but still kind of drifting away. That's kind of what this does. And so this is why we must learn to learn from them. This is why we must, learn to let them go. But before we let them go, we must learn to learn from them, because learn to break free from them. Learning to break free from them, like, meaning everything that has happened to us in the past. It's so critical, because when we learn to break free from all the shit that's happened to us in the past, we can accelerate towards creating the future that we desire. Because many times, all those mistakes, quote unquote, all those failures, quote unquote, and we're scratching those words, we're replacing them for lessons. Many of those times, they fucking hold us back, because we're like, oh my God, I'm so scared to move forward, because what if that happens again, and then what happens if we don't fucking take no action and we fucking play small? And many times, like, man, and I wondered this myself many times before. And why is it that our brain, like, why is it that our mind, why is it that it holds on to these past scenarios and these past situations so fucking strongly? Like, I wish it did that for scenarios that are positive, for scenarios that are happy, for scenarios that are vivid. Like, for some reason, our brain always holds on to the fucking fucked up shit so much stronger than it does to the good stuff. And it wasn't until I understood the power of the past when it all started really to make sense. And so, like, the reason why our brains do that is that our brains, our minds, they're pretty much wired to remember the negative events and the negative experiences that we have in our lives, not because that's what we want to remember, but because it does that as a survival mechanism. It does that to protect us. It does that to keep us alive. Because um, it wants to make sure that we're staying away from the danger. It wants to make sure that we don't get hurt again. It wants to make sure that, we are safe, in other words. And so, like, back then, back in the caveman days, like, this was actually extremely helpful. Like, if a fucking lion or a tiger is attacking your people, and you know that it hangs around this type of territory, um, you're gonna fucking remember that, because you saw them killing one of your people, or chasing after you, and then you're gonna remember, so that you can fucking stay alert, so that you can stay alive, so that, man, maybe I shouldn't go around that area, because that lion or that tiger is gonna fucking kill me. But nowadays, you see, nowadays, um, we don't live in Africa. I mean, there's people that live in Africa, and so let me put that there. But nowadays, like, unless you're living out in the wild in Africa, that shit rarely happens, right? Nowadays, we all live in a modern, civilized world, and while, yes, there's still fucking dangers out there, fuck, the world is kind of in a weird situation right now, but we're gonna put that aside right now. We lived in a modern civilization, and yes, dangers do exist. We're gonna put that aside for now, but most of the time, they aren't life-threatening situations. There aren't situations most of the time. Like I said, there are those scenarios, and right now the world is fucking a little crazy. So stay strapped. But but when we live in a modern civilization, it's not like the caveman days. It's not like living out in the wild west. It's not like how it was hundreds of years ago. You know, and so this is why we must learn to let go of the past, and, like, to not let it hold us back. Like, to learn from it. Because it's there. They're valuable lessons, but to learn from it and to move past it. Because if we don't do this, it's going to cause us to remain stagnant. It's just going to cause us to not take any action. It's going to cause us to play small. It's going to cause us to fucking not enjoy our life to the best capabilities that we can. And so, not letting go will amplify our self-doubt. Like, we will constantly miss opportunities because we're too fucking scared to move forward. Because, oh my God, this shit hurt me in the past. Oh my God, this happened to me in the past. Oh my God, I got so you're traumatized from what happened. But if you don't let go of that, the self-doubt will kill you. And you're gonna constantly play small because you're fucking scared. You're scared to move forward. You're not going to take no action. And so this applies to all areas of life. It really does, to your personal and to your professional areas. But I always like to tie things down to, like, some type of motorsport related example if I can, right? And so I've been riding motorcycles for about 30 years now. I'm currently 38 as I'm recording this episode. And I've started riding a little before I was 10, and so I consider myself a 30 plus year rider, and I push the fucking limits a lot. Even when I was small, I would push the limits. But I feel like now more than ever, I push the limits. I kind of gear up more, and I'm more in a safe way, but I'm doing crazier tricks now than I ever have. And many times I've succeeded, and I still succeed. And I thank God for always keeping me safe. But there has been a lot of times where things haven't worked out my way. There has been times where the fucking dangers have pushed right back. There have many times where I've had some serious fucking accidents riding my motorcycles. And a lot of those fucking accidents have almost taken my life on multiple occasions. And I'm not over exaggerating that. I really am. I've been in intensive care multiple times. I've had internal bleeding with both sides on separate scenarios. I've had some really close calls. And I'm sharing this so that you can see how the mind works, right? How the mind works to our defense mechanisms, like how it works to try to keep us safe, how it works so that we don't get hurt, again. And so, if my confidence is down, if I'm riding with no intention, if I'm low energy, if I'm just riding my motorcycle, like, not focused at all, like, and all those fucking accidents, they start to flash back into my head. They really do. And if I let them fucking stay there, I'll ride like shit. I'll ride scared. I'll ride like crap. I ride like a fucking rookie, even though I've been riding for 30 plus fucking years. And so to this day, I'm still working on letting those go. I really am. They're valid dangers. I've fucking almost lost my life multiple times. But I feel like they're sticking around there because of that, because they're valid dangers. And so of course they're going to be more difficult than other scenarios to let go. But they're there, they're there for a reason. And they are there to try to help me keep safe, right? And if I play small, if my confidence is down, if if um if I'm not focused, then they actually promote more of a danger to me, right? And so it's not about erasing the past, because those are lessons, but it's about releasing them so that it doesn't hold your present and the future that you can create for yourself, so that you can thrive. And when those memories come up, I literally coach myself. I literally talk to myself in my head, and I'm sharing this with you. I'm being open and I'm being transparent, so that you can see kind of a good example of how this shit works. And I literally, when that, I tell myself, I'm like, man, Randy, you've been riding motorcycles for 30 fucking years now, bro. Like, look at all the experience that you've built up. Look at how good of a rider you are. Like, look how much you've grown as a rider. Like, you're a badass motherfucker who doesn't back down. Literally hype myself up. And then I take a couple deep breaths, and I always make sure, like, because if you're not intentional with your deep breaths, you're going to take shallow breaths. So you want to take deep breaths, so that your diaphragm, your stomach, that's a good way to kind of look at it, is if you look down and you see your stomach opening up and going in, and you got to flex that muscle as you're breathing. Those are deep intentional breaths. And I take several of those, put some music on, I zone in on what I'm doing, and I fucking go shred. Like, and that technique right there works for me, and it works for a lot of physical activities. But I wanted to recommend also something else that also works, and it doesn't have to be related to physical activities. It could be related to more traumatic events. It could be related to more serious things, not like riding. I've had a lot of traumatic events in my life as well. And for the record, I've heard, and you've probably heard a lot of people talk about this one, and I never actually thought that it worked until I fucking tried it. I used to always make fun of people, like, it's such a simple tool thing, like, oh, journaling, oh, you're one of those guys, bro. Oh, gay. But no, man, I'm here telling you what I've implemented in my life and what works and what's been working. And I want you to use some of these techniques so they can use it to evolve, so that you can use it to process, so that you can fucking evolve as a human being. Because if we're not evolving, then what is it that you're doing with your life, right? And so put that fucking pen down to the paper and write your thoughts and feelings. It's not a girly thing. Like, it's okay to process your emotions. Men, fucking individuals, if you want to be a powerful man, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a role model, if you want to be someone that your family looks up to, you need to be able to process those feelings and emotions so they don't fucking pop up on you and you don't overreact at the wrong times. Because I'm still fighting that. I'm still working through that. I'm still working on becoming the best I can be, so that I could harness those emotions, And when we do this, when we put the pen down to paper, when we journal, it really allows those thoughts and those feelings to process. And as a result, we release many of those negative emotions that are fucking tied to them. And you can free write, like that works too. And that works many times, but there's times where I don't even know what to write about. There's times where I would sit down and I'm like, all right, I literally have to force myself to journal, because I know I've been very reactive lately and I don't know what it is about. And so when that happens, when you're sitting there and you have like a blank paper and you're like, what the fuck do I write about? Like, this is when it's good to really literally ask yourself questions and let the answers come from your mind. Like, it's a powerful thing. Like, your brain, your mind, it loves to answer questions. And when you feel like you're stuck, when you feel, and this involves, aside from journaling, for anything, if you ask your mind questions, it will start looking for the answers. And so some basic questions that you can ask yourself while you're journaling is like, man, why did that situation make me feel that way? And like, just start writing and see what happens, see what comes out. And I promise you, the first couple words might be like, oh, a little superficial, but if you dive deep into that, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I didn't know I actually felt that way. Or like, another question could be like, why do I overreact when I hear that certain comment? Like, why do I overreact when they say those things to me? Like, it could be that you haven't processed a previous emotion. It really can be. And I'm sharing my experience of what has worked. Another one could be like, why do I have resentment towards that person? Like, why did they come around and I'm like, oh, I immediately get in a bad mood? Like, it's because you haven't really processed the situation that happened. You haven't let that go. And journaling is very powerful, man. And the possibilities really become endless. Those are just like some questions that I threw down, but you have so much opportunity, and you could get so specific with the questions that you ask yourself. And the deeper you go, this is a good one. The deeper you go into finding out and seeing what triggers you, what doesn't, why you're acting that way, why you're feeling that way, the fucking deeper you go into that, the more solutions you'll find so that you can resolve the problems that keep holding you back. It really is. It works. Give it a try. Don't knock it until you try it. I used to knock it so bad, and this is why I'm sharing this. It's fucking work. Sometimes you gotta force yourself, especially when you're in a bad mood, especially when your stress is high, when you don't got time. But would you rather be fucking reacting emotional and letting your emotions control you? And then even worse, letting people that know how you react control you based on your emotions? That is the fucking worst. That is when people become very manipulative. And when you can process these emotions, when you can learn to fucking control them, you become a very powerful person and a very powerful leader and a very great individual that people start looking up to. And another technique that has worked for me is mindfulness and meditation. That shit also works. I've actually been meditating consistently for several years now, and I fucking love it, man. I truly do. I'm like 15,000 plus minutes in. I think like close to 15,500 by now. The longest streak I've gone was like, I think it was like 400 and something days, over a year. I actually remember the day I missed. It was the day after my Ironman 70.3. I was just exhausted. I was tired. We were driving back from Daytona, and I woke up late. I was just, this one thing led to another, and I fucking missed. It is what it is. And I stumbled a couple days after, and I got right back on it. And now I'm like on day 53 in a row of a streak. And it's not about holding a streak. I just use the streak as something to kind of look forward to. I look at it in increments of 25. All right, let's go for the next 25. Let's go for the next 25. It just keeps me accountable. It keeps me rolling. But I don't ever plan to stop meditating. Like, that has brought so much clarity into my life, and I always recommend it to everybody. And not only for the clarity, but it has taught me to be okay with myself. Like, to be okay with being quiet and not doing anything. Because many times, especially nowadays, with all this amazing technology that we have, our tips with our phones, with our fucking iPads, with our computers, especially with the phone, like, you always have availability on your phone. We ever rarely sit in peace and quiet. And it's literally like a workout for the mind, because I guarantee you, when you start meditating, you will be like me, that I couldn't even hold 5 minutes. I kept like opening my eyes. Like, yo, is this shit still going? Like, what's going on? Like, it's because my mind wasn't trained to relax, to be calm, to embrace the present moment. And so don't knock it till you try it. And another topic that I wanted to cover on this, of letting go, of moving forward, of forgiving yourself, is what happened happened. Like, give yourself permission to forgive yourself, my friends. And if you don't feel like you can give yourself that permission, bro, I'm here right now. I'm open heartedly giving you permission to forgive yourself for those life events. Like, we all make mistakes, but remember, those are not mistakes, those are lessons. Forgive yourself. It's okay. Like, forgive yourself so that you can free up that valuable mental and emotional energy. You can do this. Like, I believe in you. Even if at this moment you're having some difficulties believing in yourself, there is a better future of you that is way happier. There is a better future of you that has let go. There is a fucking future version of you right now that is reaching out to you, my friend, and is waiting for you to grab its hand so that you can be in a better place. And you don't need to believe to take the first step, but you do need to take the first step in order to put things in motion. And so shift your focus on how amazing your future can truly be. It really can. Stop worrying so much and start taking more action. Start imagining what it would feel like. Like bring those feelings those into reality. Like how would it feel like to accomplish, to bring those amazing dreams that you have in your mind, in your head, in your hearts inside of you? Like how would it feel to bring those to reality? Like imagine what it would feel like to hit those personal and professional goals that you have. Like visualize it happening. Like see it, smell it, feel it, hear it. Bring as many senses as you can into that shit. And paint a picture so freaking real in your mind that nothing can stop you from creating it. And people hear about visualization and they're like, here comes the woo woo part. Like that shit don't work. But listen, this is what's crazy. And this is what's amazing about our freaking minds. Like it cannot tell the difference between something that we experience for real in real life versus something that we vividly imagined in our minds. Like, and if you don't believe me, like think about your dreams. Like, have you ever had dreams that felt so fucking real that you're like, yo, what the fuck? Did that shit just really happen? Like, like, have you ever woken up sweaty, like ridiculously in sweat? Like, if you just finished fucking running a marathon and then like you wake up and you're like, holy shit, did that ever shit just really happen? Like, what was going on there? Or like you wake up scared, like out of your mind from whatever it was that you were experiencing in your dream, and then your heart is racing, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? That's because our minds, they can't tell from what is real versus something that we vividly imagine. This is why deep concentrated consistent visualization is so powerful, because when you prime your mind to live out what you truly want, it magically starts aligning things in your life to create those scenarios. And I'm transparent as fuck. I'm not smart enough to understand how it does it. Like I'll leave that to the scientists and to the experts. And honestly, nor I am right now in this moment trying to figure that out right now. But I just know that it does. When you start putting these things in line, like it starts working as magic. And I don't know. It's just how it works. It really does. And I want to say this because this is fucking important. This is a really important part. Like you must learn to let go, but we must also learn and we must also understand that we must take the needed action so that we can create that success that we want in our lives. Because no matter how much you visualize, no matter how much you prime your mind, no matter how much I'm going to bring it into existence, yes, that all needs to happen in order you to start putting those in line. But if you're not willing to take the action, it's not going to happen. And more times than none, we're going to need to take the action despite of the feeling that they're feeling inside. Despite of that fear. Like we're going to feel it. I've talked to a lot of successful individuals and I feel blessed to know millionaires around my life that I can pick up the phone and I can talk to them. And I asked them, I was like, hey, do you actually ever stop feeling the fear? And they laugh. They're like, bro, no, like the fear is there. I just learned to work around it. I learned to take action. I learned to move forward despite of feeling that fear. Like we can't let it hold us back. So feel the fear, embrace the fear, and fucking do it anyways. And remember this. The only direction worth looking is forward, my friends. Like, so rev up your fucking engines, let go of the past, and race towards the future that you fucking deserve. Yo, I'm driving the fucking checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's prove to the world that we are truly some badass fucking motherfuckers. Those of you who made it to the end of the episode, I just want to say that you got yourself a win, and I truly appreciate you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked us with. We are driven individuals working on breaking the fucking stereotype and becoming the best that we can be. Join me on this journey while we help as many motorsport enthusiasts as possible to create the best lives that we can imagine. Yo, and if you haven't subscribed yet, my friend, what are you fucking waiting for, bro? Go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. You can follow me on my Instagram. My handle is Wide Open Randy. Yo, and if you felt any connection to today's message, I genuinely ask that you please share this on your stories so that more people can see it, because those are the actions that really help us spread the message. I'll catch you guys on the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.